Everybody has a plan until they get punched in the face. That quote is credited to Mr. Mike Tyson. Some of you might be a little too young to remember who that is or know who that is. He's a retired boxer. Awesome, awesome example of breaking a cycle. And how breaking a cycle doesn't necessarily mean that now you're this perfect human, because he's far from it and he'll be the first to admit it. But he came from absolute just a nightmare of a life and an upbringing, and he spent a lot of his youth locked up and all that, and it was terrible. It was awful, awful way to grow up. He made something of himself, and it was not what he thought it was going to be. He did not plan on becoming a professional boxer. He didn't plan on becoming one of the most recognized personalities across the universe, I think. But anyway, the message is so simple, right? Like, we all have plans. We all have these expectations on how we think life should and could go. And then what happens? Life, man. Life punches us in the face, not necessarily literally, but something happens where it changes our whole idea of like what we thought was going to happen for us. We got punched in the face. A lot of us have been punched in the face for real, but when life punches you in the face, all of a sudden now you have to figure out how it's a complex process of like, man, I was going this way and I had all these things that I wanted to do and these ideas, and now I feel like a failure, or now I just feel like giving up. And there's all this, emotion that you go through because you had a vision in your head and then life punched you in the face. So it happens. But I'm going to be real with you, because in the 6 minutes and 52 seconds that I recorded for you in the last video, I don't think I said this fact. Life will punch you in the face. It just will. It's always going to. Now, here's the thing for you guys, is you've already likely had life punch you in the face, right? When it does again, what are you going to do? You kind of know something about getting punched in the face by life at this point, right? Now you know how to move. You know how to dodge it a little bit. You know how to absorb it and still carry on. Like you're still in the fight, right? You're still in life. You're still going after your goals and all the things that you have planned. And life might punch you again, but it doesn't faze you because you're still moving forward. You know how it feels. You know how to recover. You know you can make it through and keep that fight going. So in the 6 minutes and 52 seconds that I spent previously on that video, I didn't just come out and say, life's gonna punch you in the face. I don't wanna sugarcoat it for you. Life is tricky, man, and a lot of things come at you that you just don't see coming in the form of, good and bad. And your plan, your path changes all the time. Don't get discouraged, man. And some of you, a lot of us, I honestly, sleeping in that alley there, my plan was, I didn't know what my plan was. My plan was to survive. That was it. That was my only plan. Now, eventually my plan was I was going to become, I was going to go play football in college and then hopefully like go pro and go whatever, semi-pro or something, and I was going to play football and then coach football and all that stuff. Football was going to be my life. And life punched me in the face. And that didn't happen because, I was worried about surviving at that point. So football and unfortunately, for me, football masked, because I was getting so much good attention for football. People didn't look beyond that and actually identify that, man, this kid is dying inside. And I felt like I was. Despite all the good that I was surrounded by, I felt like I was, and that was unfortunate because nobody felt like they needed to check in on me because of the outer shell that I had out. It looked very positive and healthy and happy. And then life punched me in the face, and football was not my thing. But guess what? This is my thing. When I was sitting there, or when I was sitting in my car, or when I was just, wherever, looking for a place to crash for the night or to park my car so I won't get, a police officer tapping on me telling me I can't park here and sleep here, I always ask myself, why me? Like, why is this my life? Why is this my life? And it didn't make any sense. So I didn't have a plan for what I was going through. Like it was just something I was going through, and I figured that was going to just be my life. You're probably there, some of you watching this video. You're probably thinking, why me? Why do I have to go through all these struggles? Everybody else around me doesn't seem to be having the same punches in the face from life that I'm taking constantly. For me, this right now, for me to be able to say this to you and tell you that I've been there, not exactly where you're at, right? Because your experience is your experience. I can't be there exactly, but I can be in that area, and I can tell you that, man, I do get a lot of what you're feeling. I've been punched in the face by life. Let me tell you how I got through it. Or let me tell you how I maybe got knocked down. And I laid on the mat there for a second, and I thought, wow, that really sucked. That hurt. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get up from this. And then I leaned on somebody else to help me up and got a little bit more confidence. And now all of a sudden I'm learning how to take these punches, and they still come. They still come constantly, every day. But you can deal with them now. You have the tools, you have the skills, and you have that mindset to know I can keep getting up, man. And if I can't get up, I got to ask for help for somebody else to get me up. And that's okay too, because that happens and it's fine. But expect life to punch you in the face. I didn't say that in 6 minutes and 52 seconds before. I'm saying it right now. I'm at 6 minutes and 18 seconds, and I'm going to wrap up early by saying getting punched in the face by life and giving up can be a very negative cycle. And we can fall victim to that and live our whole life according to being a victim of the punches that we took. Or we can take those punches, gain some knowledge, gain some strength, and build up that heart to know that that next punch is coming, but I know how to deal with it because I've been there and I've survived it. And now I can tell the next person. And then guess what we're doing? We're making cycles because we're cycle breakers and we're cycle makers, baby. Got it in.